Really exciting to have picked up an extra meeting and totally out of schedule. We will be racing on a Wednesday in the Eastern Cape. We are looking forward to 8 races on the Poly surface and get underway in race 1 with a maiden plate for the fillies and mares over 1300. We have elected to lead with number 1, Princess of Winter, who's making her local debut. She bluffed her lines in her last back in the Western Cape, but prior to that had been holding some really strong Western Cape maiden form. We know how well that translates in the Eastern Cape, and with the yard expecting her to be right there, she's a big runner. Number 2, Capulet's Heart, had her first run in the Eastern Cape last time out, and she did a great job when finishing second, beaten only a quarter of a length behind Hot Marmalade. She raced off quite a bit of a rest on that occasion, so she'll be a fitter horse here, and I do think she can show some cheek once again. Horse number 8, Royal Oasis. She's had the 2 runs in the Eastern Cape so far. Both have been on turf. She's placed in both. And trying the Poly here, she will need some luck from a wide draw, but she certainly has check earning capabilities again. In race 2, a maiden plate over the mile trip, 1, 6 and 2 are my numbers of interest. Lord Marmite is another who had his first run in the Eastern Cape last time out when under Glenn Cotson, and he ran second that day behind Cleto. He will now step out for Gavin Smith, his new yard, and the yard say he is working well back home. That day when running second to Cleto, not quite sure if his heart was in it. We saw him pricking his ears and flattening his ears over the final stages. Let's just hope his mind is on the job, because the form is definitely there. Number 6, Windsock will have his first start for his new yard, the Oosthuizen yard, but like Lord Marmite, he's also raced in the Eastern Cape. In fact, Windsock has had 3 starts here, and will also be trying the Poly for the first time. If he puts his best foot forward, he should be in the action as well. Horse number 2, Excelsior, has been doing well in his new career here in Port Elizabeth, and in all 3 starts which have been on the Poly, so he's at least proven on the surface he has earned. Drawn in pole position, he should be knocking again. Race 3 is a fillies and mares 72 handicap over the mile. Here I'll lead with horse number 5, which is Mary Lee. Good run last time out against male opposition when finishing in 3rd behind Falling For You. She is very well suited to course and distance. She's something of a specialist, in fact. All 3 of her wins and the majority of her placings coming over the mile trip on Poly. I think she has decent claims here. She has to beat what looks to be quite an open field, in fairness, and next up for me will be number 7, Respectable Miss. She won on local debut in her penultimate, followed up with a smart post maiden in 4th last time out, and will make her Poly debut this afternoon. I do think that we can expect a decent follow-up run from her, and she will be in the shake-up. Number 2, Emmeline. She won on local debut last time out when beating Blonde Vision, and will also be making her Poly debut. She'll be well suited by the pole position draw. She actually had quite a wide draw on grass to overcome last time. She won a good race because she even went up with the speed. So Emmeline, I do think we can see a bit more of her again. On to race 4, and we're up to the 2,000 metre trip for merit rated 66 handicap. I think this really is a race where quite a few horses have chances. 9, 5 and 1 though will be my first 3 picks, and I am leading with the Nell runner, Legend Has It. The Flower Alley filly last time out ran a good second behind Palace Queen on the turf. She is familiar with the Poly. In fact, she's quite a fan of the Poly and has won on place on it before. So from a neat draw here, I think Legend Has It could be a decent runner. Number 5, Sacred Ibis, is coming to hand again. She flopped on local debut but showed improvement last time out, or in her penultimate should I say, and last time out built on that, running on really well late to finish 3.3 of a length in 3rd off of Palace Queen. I do think that a fan of the Poly, she's proven on it, she'll be in the shake-up again. Number 1, Crystal Stream, is not much you can add to her form. That 4th career win just eludes her, but my gosh, isn't she consistent? She is always in the shake-up. She jumps as top weight here, and should be right there again. On to race 5, and this is a merit rated 87 handicap, staying over that 2,000 metre trip. 3, 2 and 7 are my first 3 selections here. And Ancient Times, the Curari gelding, he's come on in leaps and bounds since leaving the maidens, and has been right there in the majority of his runs. In fact, in his last 3 runs, he's notched up 2 wins and a 3rd. In stellar form, outstanding on Poly, where he really is at his best. I do think that he looks the horse to beat. As far as second is concerned, Palo Alto, the Silvano gelding, 7-year-old, he's in fair form as well. He always gives a good account of himself. You just have to look at his life stats, an 8-time winner from his 34 starts. He's a really, really steady performer and should be there again. Horse number 7, Super Noir. Well, he didn't run a bad race last time out when he was a little bit out at the weights, and I do think back in handicap company, coming in here with a low weight, we'll see more of him. On to race 6, Fillies and Mares 78 handicap over 1,300 metres. 5, 8 and 3 are horses to keep an eye on for me, and Scarborough Fair also way overdue to record that third career victory. She has been there and thereabouts against some fair names, and I do think can come through to take the victory here. It would be well deserved. For second, horse number 8, Afternoon Tea. She won on local debut last time out when winning Fillies and Mares 64, beating Sweet Karma. She'll try the Polytrack here for the first time, but there looks to be more to come from her, and I do think we'll see her in the frame. Number 3, Shine a Light. Her last 2 runs have been disappointing. In fairness, the yard had to try the mile with her, which they did last time out. The way she runs on over shorter really did appear if that's what she's after, but it certainly isn't, and so she cuts back and trip to 1,300 here. This is more her distance. She is proven over it. The yard are expecting a much better run from her, so don't leave her out. Race 7 will run over the 1,300 metre trip. It's a merit rated 82 handicap, and I will say I had a really tough time at making a call between 3 runners in this race, being number 1 Saltilus, 4 Vars Boy and 5 Atkinson Grimshaw. I've gone with the top weight Saltilus here. Don't make him a good thing. I do think he's going to have to watch the 2 I've just mentioned, and he was disappointing last time out when on the grass over 1,400 he lacked a finish, and although still placing behind Roy's Magic, was quite well beaten 5 3/4 lengths back. On that run and his penultimate behind Oscar Wilde, though, he is better off at the weights to Atkinson Grimshaw by quite a decent margin, and that could be in his favour here. He's definitely capable, better than that last run suggests, and I do think that if he puts his best foot forward here, he does have winning claims. In saying that, he's got a lot to respect with the Gavin Smith coupling of number 4 Vars Boy and 5 Atkinson Grimshaw. In second, I have Atkinson Grimshaw, and he's doing everything except win. He recorded his second career victory not so long ago, and in his 3 runs since has placed in all 3 and competitively as well. He just found one better last time out behind Grazing in the Grass. That was on the turf, and although he has performed well on the turf, he is that shade better on the poly. So I think well drawn here, especially well suited to course and distance. Expect better from him. Vars Boy, I think he is also in a very good position to strike. He has run behind some decent names, standout being Earth Hour, Regimental, also not a bad sort, Blinking, as of yet still unbeaten in the Eastern Cape. So Vars Boy, don't let him slip by, even though Atkinson Grimshaw does look to have the stable-leg jockey on the way of Warren Kennedy. There's a lot to like about Vars Boy as well, and I do think he'll be competitive. Last of the afternoon is a merit rated 68 handicap over 1,200 metres, and number 1 Radiant Love certainly catches the eye here. I'm tipping him to win ahead of number 9 Curious and number 5 Pluviophile. Radiant Love last time out, a very competitive third behind Winter Vacation, actually came from 10th that day to end up in 3rd spot and beaten a really decent margin as well, a competitive margin. I do think that course and distance being one of the track and trips that he really enjoys, and drawn neatly in gate 4, he is the horse to beat. Number 9, Curious, elusive Fort Gelding out of the Jacques Stradum yard, a good second last time out behind Lion King. He will have pole position draw to his favour, and I do think he'll be trying to show some cheek. Number 5, Pluviophile is another entry from the Gavin Smith yard, and this fellow's been there or thereabouts in the majority of his recent runs. He's racing fresh here, he's well suited to track and trip, and he certainly can find the frame. The PA will get underway in the Eastern Cape on Wednesday at 1 on the dot, and this is in a maiden plate over the mile trip. Here my numbers are 1 and 6. Lord Marmite, I do think, is a horse that has to be included here. Second in his first Eastern Cape run last time out on grass. He'll debut on Poly here, but I do think he'll be well suited to the surface, showing natural speed, and he would be disappointing if he didn't find the first two. Number 6, Windsock, also making his Poly debut, is in fair form and shouldn't be too far behind. On to race 3, I do think this is an open field, and here go a little bit wider in the PA with numbers 2, 5 and 7. Emmeline, a winner on local debut last time out. Number 5, Mary Lee, very well suited to course and distance. And number 7, Respectable Miss, who races a fair post maiden and can further improve, are all horses of interest. Likewise, for race 4, super open affair, also 3 horses going in here, 1, 5 and 9. Crystal Stream, super steady and capable, always in the action. She's a lovely horse as far as PAs are concerned. She's always thereabouts and to be included. Number 5, Sacred Ibis, is working her way back to best and should be a big runner. And number 9, Legend Has It, can build on a good local debut last time out. So also 3 horses that are very much to be included. PA gets a banker in race 5, and that will be leg 4. As I go all out on number 3, Ancient Times. I do think that if you take Ancient Times out of this race, it really opens up. He does catch the eye, he does stand out for me, and as such he will be a banker in the PA. Go wider in the next leg, 3, 5 and 8, all numbers that go in. Shine a Light, I do think, is better than her recent form and will be closer here. Number 5, Scarborough Fair, is really pounding at that door to notch up win number 3. I do think she has good claims here. And then the likes of number 8, Afternoon Tea, who won well in local debut last time out, and trying the Poly here can build on that. In race 7, 3 horses again, 1, 4 and 5. I do think that these horses are going to all end up in the first 3. I'm not 100% sure on the order, but I do think that all of number 1, Celtilus, 4, Vars Boy and 5, Atkinson Grimshaw, are decent runners. Taking a chance on the last, I will end with a banker, and I'll be taking my chances on number 1, Radiant Love. I do think that this fellow's in the right place to strike again. Coming back to race 3 for the start of the pick 6, as mentioned, races 3 and 4 I do think are very open, and as such for the pick 6 I have loaded. So PA numbers of 2, 5 and 7 will get the additions all of 1, 3, 4, 6, 8 and 9. So I go somewhat wider in race 3. I follow the same theme in race 4. Here the PA numbers are 1, 5 and 9, definite inclusions, and they get bolstered here by 4, 7, 8, 10 and 11. So going super wide in the first 2 legs. Shortened dramatically in race 5, which is leg 3 of the pick 6, and I stick here with the bank of Ancient Times. As I explained a bit earlier, for me he does stand out, and then the rest of the field is pretty open. Race 6, and once again I go a little bit wider. The PA numbers here 3, 5 and 8, and I will add in number 1, Beneficiary, who's never to be overlooked in this division on Poly. Number 2, Cruise Along, who looks to be coming to hand, and number 9, Just Judy, who ran an absolute cracker this Friday past as a post-maiden run when very unlucky not to get to Mistress of Means and finishing in second. I stick with the PA numbers for the pick 6 in race 7, all of 1, 4 and 5, Celtilus, Vars Boy and Atkinson Grimshaw. I do think they all have winning claims. And then again, the banker of number 1 in the way of Radiant Love was a PA banker, will stay on to be my pick 6 banker as well. So all hopes on Radiant Love, horse number 1 in race 8. As far as the jackpot is concerned, it mirrors the inner legs of the pick 6, legs 2 through 5 exactly, so I'm not going to run through those again. Just to touch though on my best bet and value bet. My best bet in race 8, number 1, Radiant Love. I'm pinning all my hopes on him, but I do think he's in the right place to strike again. And my value bet will be Scarborough Fair, race 6, number 5. She's in really good form, and I do think she's overdue to score that next victory. Looking forward to a good Wednesday's racing, out of schedule, but very much welcome, and hope you'll enjoy it as well.